you listen and you talk to anybody who's toured with Motley Crue. Talk to Joe Satriani. I've read Joe Satriani read about it. The best guitar tone he ever heard live was Mick Mars. Massive, because Mick had to be big in those clubs. He had to fill the sound. He developed that, and it's all bone tone. It's in his fingers. It's in his approach. I mean, he's kind of like the bastard child of Mick Ronson from Bowie's band, and forget what his name escaped now. The guitarist in Bill Nelson from Bebop Deluxe, and
Yes. Okay.
Dwayne Allman,
Yeah.
he's playing slide guitar from hell. Like, I mean, Mick is incredible. And if you listen to like what he actually did on Too Fast for Love, he doubled all those solos. So it's
Yeah.
this massive sick. Is it always perfect? Hell no, but it's got feel, it's got soul. I mean,
Him and Tommy are the two musical
absolutely.
minds of that band. And I don't. Is it even possible that they wanted him out since 1984? How the hell can that even be possible?
I've heard that. I think Bob Daisley mentioned something like that in his book.
Right.
I don't want to, don't quote me on that, but
Yeah.
I think he does, and he talks about they wanted to get like Jake in there or something, and
Oh,
but
Jakey Lee.
yeah, Jakey
Yeah.
Lee.
The thing to remember too with Mick Mars, though, he's old. He's older than the rest of the guys in the band, so he was always like, those guys were the crazy dudes. I didn't do all that crazy shit. I was at home, and I think there was always a little bit of not a rift, but he wasn't with those guys in terms of that party lifestyle. But I just still can't. They always spoke so highly of him. It just seems to be so strange. Now, well, here's my question on this now, because you said in the book that if you're to take one of the four members away from this band, everything dies on the Hollywood and Vine. So this was the book. You wrote it before all this stuff went down. They have John Five as a guitarist. What happens from here on out?
Listen, man, John Five is a remarkable musician, an absolutely incredible musician. I've got nothing but respect for him. But I also have no interest in a Motley Crue without Mick Mars.
Yeah,
And you know what? Even when with the Karabi stuff, I actually love that Karabi record. I love it.
a lot of
I
people like
love
it.
John.
Yep.
It's a beautiful record. Should they have called it Motley Crue? I don't know. Because honest to God, Vince Neil, he's not the most technically gifted vocalist in the world. We know that. But the sound, and even Nicky back in the day, I don't know if he played everything on Too Fast for Love, but at Shout at the Devil, if you listen to the isolated bass tracks, we're not talking about a virtuoso at work here. Like, I'm listening, but together, the slop with the musicianship of Lee and Mars, the vision, and really Nikki Sixx, it's not about being a bass player, it's about being a visionary and seeing it through, and a lyricist and a songwriter, right? Like, I mean, those are his gifts,
Yeah.
you know. And being a great bass player doesn't really matter in that context. You got Mick Mars, he's covering all the bases. You're good. Yeah, I'm just not that interested. Who knows? Maybe they'll come up there in the studio with Bob Rock right now. Maybe they'll come up with something mind blowing, and I hope they do, because the world needs more mind blowing rock.
There you go.
But at that time, it was those four personalities that made that happen. And I don't think it could have been anybody else.